Well, good morning everyone. Eric Auger here, your friend in real estate. And this morning we're kind of shooting a video on the fly. I was just visiting my friend and favorite lender, Richard, and as we were in his office, we were talking about one of our past clients. His name was actually Richard as well. It's going to get a little confusing, but you'll be okay. And we were thinking about, what we did for him, and we thought it would be a perfect illustration of how we truly work. So I want to take that chance to introduce Richard to you, who is right here holding the camera. So you can't see him at the moment, but in just a few seconds he'll hand over the camera and you'll be introduced to him. So we had a client. Richard was back about, I would say, about a year ago, and he was relocating from the East Coast, knew very little about Las Vegas except that his son lived here and just wanted to move here. And he had sold his house back on the East Coast, and so he was sitting on a large amount of cash, and he was just trying to figure out how to use it. So let me introduce you to the other Richard. Here he is. Say good morning.
Good morning.
So this is Richard Schott, and we've worked together for a couple of years now, and he's been a really exceptional lender. Do you remember when Richard was introduced to us?
Yes,
we started working with him, and so he approached you, and I introduced him to you for the loan because I wouldn't trust anyone else.
Yes.
What happened from there? What happened with regard to his down payment rate and so on?
The main thing with Mr. Burns, when he came in, he was trying to buy a home in Las Vegas, and he's retired, and so he was looking for the best house payment. Everything else that he could do was his financial need because he's retired, and he wanted to put 20% down. And I went and ran the figures up with him, and I told him by putting 20% down, his payment had been so much, but if he put down 3.5% down by putting the difference money he did, he only would be saving an extra $50 a month. So by telling him this, I told him, wouldn't you rather keep the rest of the money in the bank for a rainy day, for retirement? You never know what's going to happen, and save that money, and instead of paying extra, save $50 a month. And after he ran the figures, he came to the conclusion he'd rather have money in the bank for the rainy day instead of the house payment.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Because when we sat down with him, we took the time to ask him a lot of questions. We wanted to understand his personal situation to give him the best advice. And it turns out that he was retiring, and so during the initial consultation we had with him, we figured that it might be better for him to save his cash rather than to save $50 a month on the payment. Right? This is kind of what happened. Actually working with Richard was quite an adventure. I don't know if you remember.
Yes.
We found that first house, and it was a great looking house. It looked really good from the outside until we discovered that there was actually dirt missing under the foundation. And from there, what was your advice to him? Because I know that the underwriter and the appraiser both noticed it, but Richard was really attached to that house, and I remember you gave him a really good advice at that time.
Yeah, I told Mr. Burns, it's like anything else. When you buy a home and you're out looking at anything else, you get kind of emotional attached to the house. And he was like a construction worker, paid him back where he came from. And he said that could be fixed easy by putting the dirt and everything else. And we had engineers out there. Well, I told him, I said, Mr. Burns, I understand your situation, but what happened? We don't know how intense that foundation crack is. So if he bought that house and fixed it the way it is today, it probably been okay. But in 10 years, when he got ready to sell the house, that foundation might have cracked, and it could have stopped him from refinance or selling the house because the house had been unsafe. And what he did, he decided that was the best thing to do. And then by getting with Eric, the realtor, he found another piece of property much better with no other problems, and he went forward, and he was a lot happier that we did this for him.
Absolutely. It actually turned out real good for him. In a sense, well, yes, he had to wait longer to move into his house, but we ended up finding a much better home for him that was actually bigger, that was nicer, and that was just about the same price. And you see, one of the reasons Richard and I work together so well is because we really want to make sure that our clients' interests are served. See, the commission that we may earn from helping people buying a home will be spent on personal business expenses, but the relationship that we cultivate with them will actually last for a lifetime, and our goal is really for them to be so outrageously happy with the help that we provide that they will gladly introduce us to their friends, family members, and coworkers, not because they feel obligated, but because they truly believe they will benefit. And a few seconds ago, we were talking about your business philosophy, and I really loved what you said. Would you mind sharing that with us?
You know, because in this market, everybody's a loan offer, and everybody can give you a good raise because you're on TV all the time. You get 4.5, this and everything else. But in this situation, this world, the biggest thing with me is sets me aside everything else. I work for you. You don't work for me. So my job is get you the best rate, qualify you, and do the right thing by you. Because I feel like my bill's going from month to month, and my job is ultimate goal is satisfy your needs. So that way there, I can get referrals from your friends and people you know. Because my main obligation is to get you the best deal. And again, and you're great. My job is I work for you. You don't work for me, and my job is to get you the best price that I possibly can for you.
Very good, very good. Well, this was Richard. Richard is by far my favorite lender. We've been working together for a long, long time. So if you want to contact him, his number will just show up right here at the bottom of the screen. I encourage you to give him a call, even if it's just to have your questions answered. He'll be happy to do it. He will not pressure you to do anything that's not in your best interest, and he'll be happy to answer your questions. So thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed meeting Richard, and the two of us really look forward to working with you, your friends, your family, and your coworkers. So when you find yourself in a conversation with one of these people and that you hear or you can sense or you see that they need our help, please feel comfortable dialing either my number or Richard's number, and we'll be happy to answer questions and help if we can. Take care.